Hey everyone, it's Mr. Rivas, and today we're going to do a quick overview on time. What we're going to focus on right now is the study of BC and AD, as well as BCE and CE. Now, you might be wondering why we need to do this. Why is it important? And it's important because it's going to help us place events in chronological order. Now, before we get started, I want you all to know that the term BC is the same thing as BCE, and AD is the same as CE. Okay, so what's the difference? BC and AD are associated with Christianity, and BCE and CE are not. So take, for instance, the year 2020. If you are affiliated with the Christian faith, today would be 2020 AD. And for those that are not, we can call today 2020 CE. So what we're going to be doing in a moment is finding out when things occurred, how long events took place for, and how many years passed between one event and another. But before we do that, I want to go over a couple rules. Rule number one, the year zero does not exist when we do this type of work. The second rule is that when it comes to BC, the higher the number, the earlier the event took place. So for example, the year 1000 BCE happened before 500 BCE. Rule number three, when it comes to CE and AD, the higher the number, the later the event happened. So for example, 2000 CE happened after 1000 CE. And when discussing modern times in the Common Era or CE, we simply just write it as, for example, 2018 CE is 2018. Pretty simple, right? And again, this is our timeline that we're going to be working on. Notice where BC is, and notice where CE is. Now, there's a couple tricks that we want to use in order to determine age. Okay, if both events are in BC or BCE, you're going to take the number of the older event, right, the larger number, and subtract the more recent event, also known as the smaller number. So, for example, the year 455 BCE and the year 445 BCE, there is 100 years that have taken place between those two events. Right. So let's do a quick little practice. How many years separated the two events, the Battle of Marathon in 490 BCE and the end of the Roman Republic 27 BCE? Pretty simple. You just subtract 27 from 490 and you get 463 years. Okay. What if both events are in the CE? You're going to take the large number, right, of the more recent event, the larger number, and subtract the older event, the smaller number. So we have an example here, 2010 minus 1910, that's 100 years. So let's practice it. How many years separate the following events? The signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776 and when American women got the right to vote, 1920. Right, you're going to subtract 1776 from 1920 and we get 140 years. Okay, finally, what if the first event is in the BC or BCE and the second is in CE or AD? Really simple. You're just going to add the two numbers together and subtract 1. So for example, if an event began in 50 BCE and ended in 50 CE, you're going to take those two numbers, 100, subtract 1, and you get 99 years. And again, just for practice, how many years separated the following two events? The invention of the first alphabet, 1700 BCE, and the invention of the light bulb, 1879 CE. You add the two together, 1700 plus 1879, you subtract 1, and you get 3,578 years. And again, we could even take these events and put them in chronological order. Taking these 4 events here, you just follow the timeline, and it can look something like that. Okay. So there you go, everybody. A quick overview on time. Right, so use these tips to help you complete the activity that follows. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me when we're in our class.